For me, I think the biggest thing that football taught me was how to overcome adversity.
At some point in your life, you're going to have some tough times.
You have to have that next play mentality.
That cohesiveness and that working together, that's really something special that you can't get in a lot of other areas.
When you practice that and you live that in other phases of your life, it becomes second nature because all you know how to do is fight.
It's not an easy game. If it were easy, everyone would do it.
You start to appreciate the smaller contributions that people make. You don't just look at the big one because you knew it took 6 or 7 other guys who are unsung.
And you know, you can't take shortcuts and be successful.
Doing what they do to make it possible for the guy getting the press clippings or whatever it might be.
In this game, whether it's as a coach or a player.
So I would certainly say that you know, you definitely got a very quick lesson in how to overcome adversity playing football.
And don't forget to check out and order your copy of our latest book, Stiff Arming Football Myths. You can find this available in both paperback and PDF form on our website at footballgameplan.com/books. The Titans got it right in the draft by going with the reigning Heisman Trophy winner Marcus Mariota out of Oregon, and the reason why I believe he instantly upgrades the Titans offense is because of his mobility. The Titans haven't had a threat like this at quarterback since Vince Young led them to a 31-17 record as a starter. Mariota's mobility has the ability to dictate how defenses play him in the passing game and how the offensive line is able to block in the running game. Everyone benefits on this offense, and I think he'll be a solid rookie. Now, speaking of solid, second-year man Zach Mettenberger will be just that in the number 2 role. You like Mettenberger's toughness, and he's capable if the Titans need him for a 2 to 3 game stretch. This is where you want to see more production. Last year's rookie Bishop Sankey was decent in his 9 starts, but you need him to be above average if he's going to be a starter in the NFL. He'll face tough competition this year from rookie 5th-round pick David Cobb out of Minnesota. Now, while Cobb isn't the flashiest, he's a chain mover with above-average vision. Both guys should benefit from a revamped offensive line and a quarterback with mobility. If it were me, the starter would be 6-year vet Dexter McCluster. But the NFL seems hell-bent on making him play wide receiver, despite the fact that one season where he was primarily a tailback, he averaged over 4.5 yards a carry and rushed for over 500 yards. He's the most explosive out of the group, but they do have a really good fullback in Jalston Fowler out of Alabama, and Fowler is versatile enough to where you can hand him the football and utilize him in the passing game on top of being an outstanding blocker. You're fooling yourself if you don't think the Titans have a wealth of talent at both receiver and tight end. Now, on the flanks, the Titans brought in 2 solid veterans in Hakeem Nicks and Harry Douglas. Now, Nicks should be effective on the outside, while Douglas can more than hold his own underneath. Both will do just fine working with Kendall Wright, the veteran, who was the Titans' most dynamic receiver. And I think Justin Hunter is extremely talented, but he'll likely miss some time initially because of off-the-field issues. 3 talented rookies could have immediate impacts this year. Trey McBride, I had a 2nd-round grade on coming out of William & Mary, and I believe the Titans got a huge steal with him in the 7th round. And McBride has the ability to be a very solid number 2. Dorial Green-Beckham is another guy that has huge upside. You want to see him continue to grow his game like he was doing before leaving Missouri. An undrafted free agent Bucky Jones Jr. out of Fordham is a player that has return skills and is in the mold of Harry Douglas. He can have an impact on special teams, I believe. At tight end, Delaney Walker was the leading receiver last year and should once again be at or very near the top of that list again. Now, I like the free agent signing of Anthony Fasano. He's a good complement to Walker, and Craig Stevens returns from injury to provide good inline play at the position. Again, this core of receivers and tight ends should benefit from quality and consistent play at the quarterback position. The offensive line for the Titans should be vastly improved over last season. Both left tackle Taylor Lewan and right guard Chance Warmack are rock-solid mainstays. Both got significantly better as the season progressed. Elsewhere up front, both guard Andy Levitre and center Brian Schwenke are capable, but Levitre has to play better, and Schwenke has to find a way to stay healthy. The reason why I say the Titans will be vastly improved up front is because I think there are stronger options at both center and guard that could or should start. Looking at 6th-round pick Andy Galick out of Boston College, he was my #1 center prospect in last year's draft, and I think he should be the starter at center. A technically sound player, Galick should also be able to excel at left guard. So could undrafted free agents Quentin Spain out of West Virginia and Josue Matias out of Florida State. Those who were huge gets for this football team. Center Gabe Eichert, who was one of the best centers in college football, returns from injury and provides good depth. Rookie 3rd-round pick Jeremiah Putasi out of Utah gets to start at right tackle, and he brings a ton of athleticism and nastiness to the position with Byron Bell and Byron Stingley backing him up.
I love football. I cannot get enough of football. I watch it on every level.
The emotional release, whether it's an exciting play that gets you all jacked up and juiced, or whether it's the fact that you're able to pour everything you have. Whatever frustration you had that week, you can put into that first kickoff coverage, that first block that you have, whatever it might be.
And I couldn't think of anything better to do to fill that void that you have as a football player than to get into coaching.
You get a chance to release a lot of emotion that you otherwise have no place to release. There's nothing else like that.
Again, the relationships you build and the people you're around, and watching the guys compete, not just on the football field, but in life after they get done playing. It's just an amazing game.
The Titans have to become much better at stopping the run, and by it being the 2nd year in Ray Horton's system, along with the assistance of Hall of Famer Dick LeBeau, you expect them to be able to make that jump, and it starts up front. Jarrell Casey should continue to be a disruptive presence on both ends of defense, and Ropati Piatua and Carl Klug are very good and stout at the point of attack. I'm excited to see 2nd-year man Daquan Jones out of Penn State, and Jones got his feet wet a little bit last season, but the 6'4", 322-pound defensive lineman has some pass rushing ability with the ability to anchor versus the run. Nose tackle Sammy Hill will be a guy to watch as he played well last season, and Al Woods provides depth along with rookie Angelo Blackston out of Auburn. Now keep an eye on undrafted rookie free agent Derek Lott out of Chattanooga, who's in the mold of Daquan Jones and has a great chance to stick and also see playing time. This is why Dick LeBeau was brought in, to create opportunities for the second level to be effective. They have a good set of outside linebackers in Derek Morgan, who really blossomed last season, and free agent signee Brian Orakpo, who comes over from the Washington Redskins. If Orakpo can stay healthy, he'll complement Morgan very well. They really need him to stay healthy because, in my opinion, the depth here is questionable on the outside. Now, the depth on the inside isn't a problem at all, with Wesley Woodyard, who led the team in tackles last season, Avery Williamson, who was 3rd on the team in tackles, and Zach Brown returning from injury. It'll be interesting to see how they divvy up the reps for these guys, as all 3 are tremendous players. Strong secondary, in my opinion, for Tennessee. I'm a big fan of the Paris Cox signing, and Cox has good press and ball skills. He and Jason McCourty, who led the team last year in interceptions with 3, should make a strong duo. And I've always been high on the game of Jamia Thomas out of Georgia Tech. He signed late in the season last year, but I think he could be the perfect nickelback ahead of both Cody Sensabaugh and Bleedy Ray Wilson. I also like what they bring to the table at safety. Denora Searcy was signed in free agency from the Buffalo Bills to pair with 9-year vet Michael Griffin. The best football is ahead of Searcy, I believe, and Griffin was once again a steady performer, finishing 2nd on the team in tackles with 115 and also picking off 2 passes. Both Damian Stafford and Marquestin Huff are 2 good, versatile sub-package guys. Tennessee boasts excellent special teams units. Kicker Ryan Suckup helped solidify the kicking game last year, connecting on 19 of 22 field goal attempts. Punter Brett Kern averaged 46.8 yards a punt. Now, the coverage units are also very solid as well, and where you have some question is in the return game. There's a bevy of options that'll vie for those duties. McCluster to Bucky Jones Jr., Trey McBride, just to name a few. Also, Josh Stewart and Jacoby Ford could also be options. I have the Titans finishing 2nd in the AFC South. Tennessee is solid throughout the roster and has been for some time, in my opinion. What was missing was quality quarterback play to help get them over the hump, and I do think they have that guy in Mariota. He's a rookie, but he should steadily get better each and every week, which should then have Tennessee competing for that 6th and final playoff spot. And I also want to give a huge shout out to Titan Fan Forums for always showing football game plan support.